The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers. And by Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance.
The Rocky Mountain Renegades Air Show, part of opening ceremonies here at the Toyota Thunder Valley National Round 3 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We'll have your 250 Moto number 1 coming up here on MAV TV. Don't forget a 450 race we just had wrapped earlier, and Eli Tomac in that class. Arguably Colorado's most decorated racer of any discipline, and the 29-year-old Monster Energy Yamaha rider is not done yet. Trained and raised by an all-time legend in cycling, from BMX to road racing to downhill world championships, Eli Tomac has taken the lessons taught by his famous father John and turned them into a Hall of Fame career on dirt bikes. In his 13th season, the 6-time AMA national champ is in the mix for title number 7. 3 straight 450 titles from 2017 through 2019 prove Eli is one of the fastest and fittest of his generation, and now he's etching his name among the all-time best. Last week at Hangtown, he earned his 56th career Moto win, making him 3rd all-time behind Ryan Dungey and Ricky Carmichael. Fans everywhere are cheering this latest version of Eli Tomac, because this current legend of the sport just keeps getting better with age. And this is the man the fans come to cheer for when we come to Colorado, because he is a home state native, won the 2013 250 National Motocross title, and then won the 450 championship 17, 18, and 19. They want to see him get it back this year.
Yeah, he's got a great opportunity to do that. And I'm going to tell you what, this Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing crew have put together a fabulous machine for Eli Tomac. You can see it just in his demeanor in the pit area, the paddock, just walking around. He really feels like he's enjoying his time.
Yeah, I've never seen him appear so happy at the races. But it's chicken and the egg. The results are good. You're happy. The results get good. No doubt about it. All right, let's get to know this racetrack here at Thunder Valley. It is your MX versus ATV Legends track map from Colorado.
Thunder Valley, we got a really good bike there, so the technique there is just kind of hold it. The fastest guy down the hills normally gets the best lap. It's a pretty hilly track, and coming down those hills gets pretty rough, so whoever holds it on the most going down, I feel like that will give you a good lap time there, and then definitely gets rutted up pretty good too, so you got to be very consistent in the ruts.
Yeah, it takes a lot to have a quick lap at Thunder Valley. One, you're at altitude, so you have to breathe a little bit harder, and a lot of hills and off cambers, more of a kind of European style track, and yeah, it takes a lot of charging down those hills and sending it into the corners, and trying to get the drive on the uphill since you don't have a lot of power on your bike.
Well, here's the rider that figured it out best in qualifying, Michael Moseman. Fast qualifier today. He also won the first moto at our last race at Hangtown, but that was his home track. He's showing that's not a home track thing. He's just on the gas this year.
He looked really well in that last qualifying practice earlier today, and you know, you just have to think after his moto win that he got and captured at Hangtown last weekend, that's just going to help him coming into Moto 1 here at Thunder Valley. He knows he has the speed to win.
KTM keys to the moto here, RC. What do we need to do here at Thunder Valley?
Well, a lot like in the 450 class for that first moto. Optimizing the gearing. These guys are 20% horsepower less, so they're going to make some gearing changes. So use that to your advantage, and then keeping your momentum up through the corners, especially on these 250s. When you slow them down in those tight corners and you go inside like that, it's going to take much more effort and power on that engine to get it going. So don't be opposed to taking those outside lines and keeping your momentum up.
And horsepower being at a premium in every 250 race, but especially here at 6,000 feet of elevation. They have been chasing those Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing 250s for a while. So we'll see if they've solved that today. Those Yamahas really run well here at the high elevation. But in the series in general this year, it has been the Hondas on top. Jet Lawrence won the first 2 races of the year, and his brother Hunter has been in the podium at the first 2 rounds right behind him, and he is second in points. Hunter on the 96 and Jet on the number 1. They also won 8 of the 17 Supercross rounds this year. So the Lawrence brothers, it is their time. Some people say there's so much hype about these two, and I say I don't know what more they need to do to prove they're legit.
And Jet has led 42 laps. He's led all but 12 laps this season. You think about this in the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship already. So people say they talk about him a lot. Well, that's, to your point, for good reason.
Yeah, they're earning those accolades with 2 brothers and teammates, 1-2 in points. So who can go after him? Certainly Bozeman, the fast qualifier, is quick. Joe Shimoda on the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki has been very fast the first 2 rounds. And Justin Cooper always flies at this racetrack, including last year when he won it. So we are ready with our starting grid. 40 riders, 30 minutes, and 2 laps here at Thunder Valley, a pivotal round 3. Jet Lawrence has won the first 2 rounds. This field does not want him to make it a three-peat to start this year. Mechanics move away. It is rider versus rider now. And Jet has been good with the starts so far this year. Keep
your eyes on those Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing bikes. They have a lot of horsepower in those engines. Somebody, Justin Cooper, Thrasher, Levi Kitchen, an eye on those guys as well.
Looking for blue up front early on. It's going to be a mad rush to the inside of this right-hand first turn. We had a 450 race earlier today, a rare opportunity for the 250s to race second. Track's going to be a little rougher than it usually is. We'll see who can handle it. Heat, elevation, rough racetrack, championship pressure, it's all here. Let's go. And look at the Yamahas to the front, just like you said, RC. I think that might be Kitchen,
Yeah, 2 out of the first 3, and that was Styles Robertson on that Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna racing machine, grabbing the 2nd position. It's a perfect spot right up the inside.
Levi Kitchen's starts have been absolutely horrible through the first 4 motos of the season. What a turnaround here. He has not even been in the top 10 off the start, and now he's got a whole shot.
Yeah, to your point, great start for Levi Kitchen. This guy's pretty incredible on a motorcycle. He's got a lot of bike skill. He's fun to watch. Be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do with this start.
Yeah, just turning pro last year was Kitchen at the end of the 2021 campaign. So you've got the veteran sort of leader of the squad, Justin Cooper, who's moved up to 2nd. And this is the future for this potent Yamaha Star Racing team, leading the way. And now we get our first Jet Lawrence sighting. He is up around Seth Hammaker on the 47 and found some room on the inside of Robertson.
What a quick pass by Jet Lawrence. Goes right up the inside. Makes the move on Styles Robertson.
Kitchen has averaged 15th in the first lap of the motos, and now running in the #1 position. So just what the doctor ordered, Robertson trying to come back now on Lawrence. As with this high-speed section, he might be able to get him. It's going to be on the inside. Yeah, Styles Robertson getting it done. And then Lawrence cuts right across to try to repass him.
Nice pass back by Styles Robertson. Holds it on, outbreaks Hunter Lawrence, coming down into that fast right-handed sweeper corner.
Lawrence trying to position himself on the inside of this right-hander in the mechanics turn. Can he get the drive out of the inside? No! Robertson going to edge him off for the Rockstar Husqvarna.
Closing the door on Hunter Lawrence.
And here has been the problem all year. Hunter all the way back in 9th. Consistently, Jet has been getting off the gate better than his brother. We really haven't seen them battle too often. Jet's going to go back after Robertson. Robertson shuts the door again.
Just can't quite get the job done. Trying everything he can to come up the inside. Styles carrying a little bit more momentum through the corners. He's able to close the door on Jet.
Oh, there it is. Got the drive through those rollers. Jet Lawrence to 3rd. And it's the Yamaha 1-2 that he's going to have to try to close in on. Cooper, his old championship rival from last year. And Levi Kitchen has put 3 seconds on the field in 1 lap.
Dude is checking out. And that's the beauty of getting that hole shot. You're able to have clean air, fresh track, not dealing with anyone else's roost. Kind of hit your marks, hit your lines, and put in some laps like a day out at the truck practice track.
Hey, how different is it to transition from that? He's been mired in the pack, and all of a sudden he has clean racetrack. You think a guy maybe gets a little nervous sometimes when that happens?
You would have to assume that he would, being out here, especially when you get a lead like he has this early on. It's almost like you're a sitting duck. You're just out there waiting. You're in no man's land.
Yeah. What's going to go wrong? What's going to go wrong? But right now, it certainly looks good for Kitchen up front. rider out of Washougal, Washington. He'll have a home race coming up when we race in his hometown later in the year, but he sure seems comfortable in Colorado.
And I think if you're Levi Kitchen, you know, you can't worry about being in the lead. Go out there and just hit your laps. Do your laps. You do the best that you can do. And what happens behind you is what happens behind you. If these guys are faster than you, they're going to catch you regardless. Worry about what you can control.
Seth Hamaker slipping by Robertson to fourth. Hamaker coming a star this year. Looking good through the first 3 rounds of the series. Wow, power sliding around that corner.
I mean, it's been slippery there. It was slippery there that first 450 moto as well. This guy's having the tiptoe right through there. Nick Romano coming up through.
Yeah, one of the rookies just turned pro. Was this a pass?
Yes.
Where did that happen? Just like that, Jet Lawrence is up to second. Maybe a mistake from Cooper. Not sure what happened, but Jet will take it. Cooper trying to come back. Jet has the line closed off.
Jet had that preferred line. This is great camera work by the drone. You love it. You can really see the race and the tactics develop from up above and the different line selection as well.
That's not what Justin Cooper wanted. He has to make up points bit by bit on Jet Lawrence because he was out of the top 10 at our opening round in California. Much better up at the podium last week. He doesn't want to let Jet go.
Well, that's going to be a tall ask. I mean, yeah, Justin Cooper's 35 points behind already of Jet Lawrence.
Yeah, just gave up 2 with that pass. Jet tries to close in now on the leader, Kitchen. And we'll show you how Kitchen got this early lead, courtesy of the motorsport.com whole shot replay. You said it might be the Yamahas.
Yeah, here he comes. You can see him on the left-hand side of your screen. Or no, actually, he was towards the middle way. Able to hold on the gas a little bit longer coming into the corner. Late brakes. Fades out to the outside just a tad bit more to keep his speed up, keep his momentum up.
Letting the chef cook here. Kitchen, 4 seconds is the gap. Hey, it's one thing to say, I just need a start. It's another thing to prove it. He knew exactly what to do when he got that hole shot.
Well, he looks like he's riding pretty comfortable, well within his zone at the moment. Again, he just needs to pay attention, race in front of him. Don't worry about who's in second. Don't look out. Don't look behind you. Drive forward.
Yeah, because if you do realize who's behind you, it's none other than the big number 1 of Jet Lawrence. Maybe it's Levi Kitchen, the rider that can knock him off early here in 2022. We'll show you the gap right now. That's Kitchen. There's Lawrence, so the gap's still sizable. In fact, Lawrence not able to make any ground that last time around, just a few tenths, but certainly not enough for Kitchen to have to worry about it. Then it's Cooper, Hamaker, Robertson, top 5, Romano. Hunter Lawrence has gone from 9th to 7th. Jalik Swoll, Matt LeBlanc, and Joe Shimoda round out the top 10.
There's still a lot of racing left. Anything can happen, and you just never know. I know Jet's still not 100% yet. I had an opportunity to talk to his dad, but certainly not as bad as what he was last weekend. So
send it down to Will with more of the number 1.
Thank you, Jason and Ricky. Yeah, you were just talking about Jet's health there. He told me about 70% is where he thinks he's at. When I was talking to him this afternoon, you can hear he's very congested. It's in his head. And he was wearing a nose strip to keep his airways open there. And I asked him how that would affect him, given obviously oxygen levels now that we're here at elevation. And he basically said, well, let's find out. I'll do what I can. I feel good enough to get out there and challenge everybody.
Thanks, Will. Also feeling good now is brother Hunter, who has made the move on Nick Romano, so that will move the 96 up to 6th place. But this has been the story far too often in the early going this year. Needs better starts.
Well, and that's the thing. You can't give up this kind of track position. It's incredible when you do. It's incredibly hard to make up the time that you lose, especially those first couple laps. I mean, look at Levi Kitchen with that hole shot and what he's able to do and the gap that he's able to pull away. If you're not substantially faster than the riders in front of you, it's virtually impossible to make up that time.
So the next rider on his list will be Styles Robertson, putting together a good run right now in the top 5. There's Nick Romano, 3rd pro race for him, learning as he goes. Said a lot of the tutelage came from none other than Jeannie Carmichael.
Yep, she's been going out there, been going out there helping these guys when needed, holding them accountable. I'm glad it's them and not me, I'll tell you that much.
He said when you see this old Chevy Tahoe rumbling down the road, we're in for a long day when Jeannie shows up.
And let me tell you, the weather has been hot back east lately, so It is not easy work for these fellas.
And that's the training that he's going to need right now because pressure being applied. Good little battle between Romano. He's going to have to deal with Lawrence. And then you have Robertson in the mix too. Styles Robertson, good to see him getting back on track. Pops up every once in a while with some strong results and then just far too many injuries in his early seasons here as a pro. Now we see Jalek Swoll, kind of the same story for him. He got hurt at the opener.
Yeah.
Didn't think he'd race last weekend, and he ran up front almost all weekend long. And I said to Swoll today, I'm like, is his shoulder any better? And he's like, I don't know. We're going to find out, but I got to try.
Out.
Yeah, exactly. Last week was running in a podium position in Moto 1, then crashed, and then could not finish the second Moto, but he's gritting his teeth today. So Swoll here on the Rockstar Husky is 8th. Romano right in front of him in 7th. And then we get our first glimpse of Joe Shimoda. So as we watch this battle between Romano and Swoll, oh, this could be good right here. Swoll's right to the rear wheel.
Swoll's been at this a little bit longer than Romano has, so this probably isn't sitting well with Jalek Swoll having a young rookie out here outdoing you.
Yeah, don't steal my thunder. He's working on the inside, showing Romano a wheel.
I thought he was going to go for it. Just so it was a little bit too, wasn't quite close enough to really make the pass or force the issue.
Up ahead, Lawrence has the gap to Kitchen down to 3.5 seconds. We'll stay with this battle as they start working their way back uphill at Thunder Valley. Swoll versus Romano. Actually, why not just give you all of it with the Thor battle box? Left side is Romano versus Swoll, and there's your leader on the right, Levi Kitchen. Still don't see the red fenders of the Honda in the shot yet. So Kitchen maintaining a sizable gap. You said it's about 3.5 seconds.
This is a great run by Levi Kitchen. First time for Levi being in this position. Great to see, handling it well.
Yeah, absolutely. Supposed to act like you've been there before, and that's exactly what Kitchen is doing. Won the Nikki Hayden Horizon Award from the ANA last year as America's top amateur rider, and learning some lessons very quickly here in his first full pro season. Tall rider out of Washington.
This is his first hole shot of the year. Man, life is so much easier when you get that hole shot. It's got to be at least 70% of the work, it feels like.
Yeah, he has a totally different story to tell in this moto compared to the others, where he was 15th on average on the first lap, as Swoll continues to apply pressure on Romano. Romano out of Queens, New York. Not a hotbed for motocross racing.
Yeah.
So when he grew up, closest track was about an hour and a half. But he actually says, you know, looking back now, the fact that he couldn't ride all the time as a young kid kind of keeps that hunger, that fire. Now that he's a little older, again, he's still a teenager.
Yeah.
But he wasn't riding every day when he was growing up. Maybe a little bit more fire these days.
And this is a lot to learn for a young kid that doesn't have a lot of experience in racing and it being his rookie season.
Oh, he's going to get some experience here trying to deal with Swoll. It's going to be interesting how they plan this jump line, and Swoll got it down.
Yeah, Swoll kind of pushed him out. Nothing crazy, but used the good line, and that allowed Jalek to get over that little step up, that last little step up going into that right-hander before the finish line. Nick Romano wasn't able to do that because he wasn't in the preferred line.
Here's Joe Shimoda, who is often coming through traffic like this. Rider out of Japan on the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki. He might have been the fastest rider of all in our last moto last week at Hangtown, but he crashed. And that's been the story for Joe this year. He's trying to show another level of aggression, hanging it out on the edge. Here's Shimoda looking for an opening on Romano. Couldn't quite make it happen. Oh, he goes from inside to outside.
Hey, you looking at Shimoda, he just loses so much time because of that bad start. Looking at time and scoring right there, he's 21 seconds behind the leader. Incredibly frustrating, especially when you know you have great speed, you have podium speed.
Yeah, and speaking of the lead, Lawrence has taken another second out of Kitchen. It's down to 2.5 up front. Justin Cooper is still in third. Let's send it down to Will with more of the number 30.
Well, you guys said that aggression that we're seeing out of Joe Shimoda this season, that's not the only thing that is new with him. Since the end of the Supercross season, guys, he's also got a new trainer in Nick Way, a very respected trainer, as you guys know, in the paddock. And Joe told me the real difference that he's been making for him is just keeping a little bit more organized mentally. He's just got these very clear goals when he goes out there, and Nick's helping him with that. He's also helping, obviously, you know, with physical training, but he said it's only been a matter of weeks, so that side of it has yet to kick in. He said the other side of it, the mental side of it, so far has really helped him on track.
Nick, a former race winner in this series in his pro days.
Well, every little bit helps. I like what Nick Way brings to the table. Being a big help to Adam Cianciarulo, Cameron McAdoo, and just Nick having that race knowledge.
On the right side of this Thor battle box is Hunter Lawrence with the blue jersey going after Styles Robertson. That would be for 5th. And then on the left side, Shimoda looking to make a move on Romano. Couldn't quite make it happen again.
No, he wasn't able to make that double.
Oh, there it is.
There it goes.
And Levi Kitchen just stretched it back out. He just dipped into the 219s. He just turned in his best lap.
Half second faster than Jet Lawrence that last lap.
Wow, so the lead back up to 4 seconds. Kitchen could be working on his first ever Moto win here. There's still plenty of time in this first Moto as we watch Hunter Lawrence go to work on Robertson. And the same story for the most part that goes for Jet Lawrence goes for Hunter. Hunter's still a little bit under the weather. Talking to Hunter this morning, he said, yeah, we're a pretty close-knit family, which is good in some ways, but that is one of the drawbacks. If one person gets sick, we all get it. Hunter and Jet, their dad Darren, even Hunter's girlfriend, they're all under the weather.
Passing it around is
That's
what
right.
they're doing.
He said his family's just one giant petri dish is what Hunter said. Hey, we're halfway through this Moto, 15 minutes down, 15 to go. 15 minutes, a phone call to Geico, you could save 15% or more on your insurance. But you want to keep up with this action because it looks like Hunter's looking for running room now. Going to get around Robertson.
Man, it's crazy. I can't believe we're already halfway through, and this track is brutal. Now, this is a lot different than what these guys have faced all year long. Now, remember, they're always the first Moto. They start the main events off. Normally, they're the first, and then the 450s go. So I believe that this is a little rougher condition than what they're faced with on their first Motos compared to what they're used to.
Can you tell just by looking at it? Does it look that much nastier?
Yeah, for sure. The ruts are a bit deeper. The braking bumps coming into the corners are a bit bigger as well.
And Hunter looked a couple times like he had the move on Robertson, but Styles has proven tough here. Styles been motoing with his 450 teammate on that squad, Shane McElrath, during the week. Styles originally out of Bakersfield, California. There's a whole group of up-and-coming riders coming out of California, but now a lot of them doing their their riding and training in Florida. That's what Styles have been doing for the last couple of years. And while they're pushing, you can now start to see Seth Hamaker in 4th place, not too far ahead. So as Hunter is putting pressure on Robertson trying to respond, and there's Hamaker in the distance.
What a great ride it would be if Styles is able to hang on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be better, it'd be, like I said, that'd be his best finish as he ever had in a Moto.
Oh, Hunter thought he had an inside line there. Robertson would have let it happen. No, he's still going for it.
He's working it. Let's see if he tucks back underneath inside. Sets him up. Oh, no.
Yeah, nothing to bank off of there. So he goes back to work on the uphill. There's a couple different lines up here.
Yeah, that main line on the inside, it just fades. There you go.
Ooh, it's going to be side by side. Robertson's got to hold it on. He's stuck on the outside now. Not giving up on it, but Hunter has the line.
I like that line that Hunter just took. That was nice. Clean pass. Not a lot of people were taking that line going down the inside of that hill right there, so it was pretty smooth. He was able to late break it. Bike wasn't getting too disrupted because it was so smooth and not a lot of people taking that line.
All right, so Hunter breaking some new ground there and breaking into the top 5. Hamaker would be next on his list. Look, Hunter's second in points. He did not come here to get 5th in a Moto. He wants more. Justin Cooper is next. He is in 3rd, and we check back in with Levi Kitchen, who has checked out. He moved it to 4 seconds. He is now up 5.5 on Jet Lawrence. Could his first ever Moto win be en route? Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really comfortable on the bike. Doesn't look like he's taken too many chances. And that is a really good feeling when you look smooth like that. You're able to hit your marks. It's almost as it's effortless. Look at, he hasn't been eating anyone's roost. Going to come up on some lappers, so he'll get a little bit dirty. However, just an incredible ride.
All right, now he just has to stay cool under the pressure.
That's right.
Trying to bring that first moto win home. Don't think about it too much, Levi. Man, does he look good, though.
This is Kitchen. Another thing that's amazing, this is his first pro moto ever here. He's never raced professionally here at Thunder Valley. So to come out here and ride as well as he's riding, it's pretty impressive.
Well, we knew Hunter Lawrence would not be satisfied with 5th. He is slowly but surely inching up on Hamaker here in 4th. Hamaker's still a great story, though, this summer. He was on the box at the first 2 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross all the way back in January. Then a big injury. He was off the bike for a long time. And he came into this season with only 3 Pro Motocross races under his belt. That's how much time he had missed with injury. And he was fast from the get-go, fast qualifier at round 1. Hasn't quite had the 30+2 fitness, but he's been up front in almost all the motos.
Yeah, but he'll work on it. He's working with a great guy, and that's Ivan Tedesco, his trainer, riding coach, and really have a lot of confidence in Ivan. He is a former 125, 250 champion in his own right.
And
at
a race
Monster
winner
Energy, Kawasaki,
Oh, yeah.
Pro Circuit Kawasaki. So, I think he's great for Seth.
And one of the unique things about Ivan, he still is a tester for the team. And what they say is he might be retired several years, but he can still go race speed.
Still rolls. He definitely does.
They're going to need that fitness that they're working on right now, though, because here comes Hunter Lawrence. Got the gap down to almost nothing now on Hamaker, rider out of Pennsylvania. Cooper all alone in 3rd. And I think Jet Lawrence has said, I'm just going to settle for 2nd in this one. Every time we look at the gap, Levi Kitchen stretches it even more.
And if he's playing the long game, there's nothing wrong with that. You never know. He might not feel 100% comfortable on the bike. We know he's not at, Will told us he's 70%. So he's playing the long game here, maybe hedging his bets that the Shep won't be up front the next moto. However, he is in front of the guy that he needs to be in front of, and that's his brother. So from a point situation, Jet is in a great spot.
Oh, now lap traffic holding up Hunter Lawrence now. So that could change things in a hurry, give a little breathing room for Hamaker. And Lawrence has to go back to work.
This is going to be a tough race for Hunters from a points perspective. Coming into this moto, he's 11 points behind his brother Jet.
Yeah, and that's what Jet has managed to do as 18 years old.
Yeah,
I think the perception would be he's wild, he's reckless, he's out of control, but he's done a pretty good job of managing it. That's why he has 2 titles the last 2 series that he's raced.
Yeah. He surely has grown into his own, and the adjustments he's been able to make and the learning from all the learning lessons. Rarely does he make the same mistake twice. Still got a lot of learning to do. However, pretty impressive to see the growth.
Hunter Lawrence is back right there in the rear wheel of Hamaker. So this should be interesting right now. Can Hamaker hold him off? Oh, Hamaker's hanging it out, trying to do it. And lap traffic's going to slow him up as well.
Well, these guys are going to have to start getting creative with these lappers. Sometimes these lappers, they're in a race in their own. They don't want to give up too many lines as well, because they're going to lose time to the guy that they're racing for position. So it's going to force Hunter and Seth Hamaker to get creative with their lines. Maybe not follow the leader. Try some inside, try some outsides, maybe middle lines.
Tell you what, it actually worked in favor of Hamaker. And that exchange there with the traffic, able to build the gap back
Pull
up.
a little gap, yep.
What happened to Moseman, our fast qualifier? We now have him in 9th. Will, what'd you hear?
Well, I was just chatting to Jay Burgess, his mechanic there, guys, and we didn't see it on camera, but he actually went down in the first lap and ended up 20th there, dead last. So doing a grand job moving his way forward in the pack. But I was talking to Jay earlier and saying, you know, could Michael Mosiman perhaps get his first overall here this weekend? And he said the key is going to be for him is taking out these extreme pits and troughs. The team have told him over at Troy Lee Red Bull Designs Gas, you have to smooth it out. You have to be consistent, because obviously we're always dealing with 2 motos in a weekend. So if you want an overall, you need consistency in the weekend, and then you're going to have consistency over the season. So they've been pushing for that for him, and so you could see the slight frustration in Jay's face there, that another tip over for Michael has meant that he went from being the fastest qualifier to right now struggling back to this point.
Well, and it's frustrating, right? Because when you're the fastest, you turn the fastest qualifier, and then you have something like that happen on the first the first lap. You don't get to display your talent and get out there and give yourself a shot. It's really really disappointing when that happens.
Hunter Lawrence has gotten around Hammaker. That'll move him to 4th. You got a brief glimpse of Justin Cooper in 3rd, Jet Lawrence 2nd. And this one is all but over if Levi Kitchen can bring it home. The chef is cooking. He has 1 career top 5 moto finish. Today he's looking for a moto win. So Kitchen putting it all together. Real tall rider here, but making it work even on this deeply rutted track.
This team, I tell you, just when you think, oh, they don't have another guy in the chute, then, oh, no, we forgot about this guy.
Yeah,
Then
absolutely.
Levi's up here making it happen. Just a superb race. I mean, you imagine if he's able to close this out, leading wire to wire for you the first time you ever win a pro motocross moto. And you're able to beat a guy like Jet Lawrence, the defending champion. That's pretty sporty.
And what a turnaround. The team was really struggling at the first round of the series, and we thought, oh man, you don't normally see Star on the ropes like this, but Cooper got a lot better last week, and now one of their young guns showing what he can do. So they've turned it quickly, and Kitchen right now just has to avoid the big mistake.
That's right.
All right, another lap about to click off.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
What a story brewing here. Levi Kitchen, first full pro season in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. And he is looking for his first ever moto win. His starts have been terrible this year. Average first lap position coming into this race, 15th. Suddenly he grabs the motosport.com whole shot today. And honestly, he has not been challenged.
No, he checked out to an early lead. A lot like what Ken Roxon did in that first 450 moto. You just really are able to avoid all the other chaos that's going around you or ensuing. You get a mid-pack place start. He's going to probably learn from that, you would hope. Try to replicate that for the second moto.
Now, it's kind of odd that team struggled at round 1, and then they made huge changes, but only to 2 riders' bikes, Nate Thrasher and Justin Cooper. And Cooper got much better at round 2, and then they tell me this weekend some of the lessons they learned from those bikes are starting to trickle into the other machines.
When I watch a guy like Levi Kitchen right now, I always wonder, you know, is this the moto? Is this the breakout moto where, okay, now he's learned how to win at the 250 level in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross racing? And will he be able to replicate that and keep on doing that? And that's what I will be looking for as we move forward. If he's able to close out this win, he's able to go mistake-free to the finish line. Okay, is that enough to give him the reassurance and the confidence to continue it? Because it's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn how to do things, it becomes easier, you know, as you do it more and more and more. So that's what I'm going to kind of be looking for. Is this that moto?
5.866 were his moto scores coming into it, so it is a big turn here. We watched this battle, Swoll versus Mosiman. So Mosiman down in turn 1 has climbed into the top 10 and is looking for more points. They pushed Nick Romano back to 10th, and Mosiman here on the 29 that Troy Lee Designs Red Bull Gas, he wants more. Swoll just trying to hang on with that ailing shoulder. Go ahead.
Yeah, it really is an incredible ride by Michael Mosiman. on that Chorley Designs Red Bull gas machine. He's going to come up against these guys. Jaleel Squall isn't going to be easy to get by. Further you move up in the pack, the harder they are to pass.
Yeah, and dealing with this traffic,
right?
as you've been talking about throughout this moto. That really held up Swole.
That's right. Coming through the traffic like that gets hard. As I said, these lappers are racing as well. They think they're in the race.
Mosman wasn't able to do that double downhill, so he just sticks to the inside.
You can see he's lost some time to Jaleel Swole right there, number 31.
Hey, you talk about being in the lead and being able to conserve energy. How much energy on the opposite has Mosman had to use in this moto?
Oh, he is burning it all right now. Coming through the pack, holding his breath when he's behind guys because you're trying to avoid roost, and then your heart rate gets elevated. So, yeah, absolutely. He is exerting a lot of energy.
Catching up with their points leader, Jet Lawrence, made a brief surge toward Kitchen when he got to second, got the lead down to 3.5 seconds, but he was not able to make that last, and Kitchen pulled back away. He does have Cooper at bay, about 6 seconds behind him. There he is.
Like I said, long game for Jet Lawrence. You got to go big picture. If you're not feeling it, then you go to plan B, and that's like, all right, protect and preserve my points, my point lead. And quite frankly, I mean, Levi is a little ways down in points. He doesn't need to worry about him. He's, let's see here, 36 points behind Jet Lawrence in the championship, so no worries.
And we've talked about Justin Cooper's massive turnaround from round 1 where he didn't even finish in the top 10.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden was on the podium the next race and said all they did was change the bike. But it changes so drastically, they couldn't even do the typical testing where you come in, change one part, come in, change another. They just had 2 bikes. They had a completely different philosophy on one bike than the one he had raced at round 1. Justin said he could tell immediately that was the way to go, and they just left the old bike behind. But here's the craziest thing. He started round 1 on the exact bike that he had last year when he ended the year with a 1-1.
Yeah, well, it's incredible. Well, that just shows you the progression that these motorcycles and teams make throughout the year and off-season testing and developments. But it's always nice to start with what you had because you knew that worked at one stage. But it's hard to believe that just a little change could go and give you that much of a performance enhancement.
Yeah, I was raised eyebrows when they said he's got to beat Jet Lawrence last week, and I'm like, you're going to make up 12 positions with bike changes? But they did. So I won't question him again. Cooper's third. We'll go back to 4th now, and that's Hunter Lawrence, who made that move on Seth Hamaker a couple of laps ago. And maybe he's got a shot. 2 to go. Go after Cooper. You know he wants to.
And I know I say it, people probably get tired of me saying it, but every spot counts. When you get deep into this championship, Jason, you know how precious and special each point is. So when you want to give up and just roll out and not keep driving, those could be costly towards the end of the series.
Yeah, because Hunter is second in points, but going to have a position between he and his brother Jet if it ends like this. And also, even though Cooper's down in the standings right now because of the bad round 1, you can't count him out of the championship. You know, you're always one mistake from getting back in it, so they need to take points away from him. Here's Hamaker working on 5th. So this would be a career best for him. Ran up front early in the year, but wasn't able to hold on for a top 5. Trying to do it today. And this has been a great story, and for a team that needs some.
Yeah. I mean, you think of the history with Monster Energy Kawasaki Pro Circuit Racing Team and Mitch Payton, the legacy of that team and how many championships and #1 plates are hanging on the door of their rig there in the paddock. I mean, there has been some serious heat and great athletes that have come, great champions that have come through that program, and they've been in a tough spot. They've had a rough go at it. Star rider Austin Faulkner having a litany of injuries over the last several years. It's been a tough go for this race team, and they need some good results here.
And Hamaker, shout out to the Team Green amateur squad and their manager Ryan Holiday. They stuck with Hamaker. He missed an entire season with Epstein-Barr and then shoulder surgery, and they just kept him on the team. They believed in his talent, and then more injuries since turning pro. But every time he's gotten on the track, he has been effective. And again, looking for that career best 5th right now.
And these teams have invested in these guys, so you want to see your investment materialize most of the time.
And it has with Hamaker. Here it is, RC, last lap. We're about to have a first-time moto winner here with Levi Kitchen.
And could you imagine, wire to wire, whole shot.
Unreal.
Just an incredible ride for the chef.
cooking right now, as the kids say. And, man, I just got to repeat it again. He just kept saying, I just need to start. I just need to start. And they all say that.
Yeah, I mean, easier said than done.
Yeah. But, man, has he made a believer out of everyone, pulling away from Jet Lawrence in the second half of this moto. And he is about 2 minutes away from what is going to be a big one. And a shot in the arm for that team, too. Because, again, they struggled big time at the first round. They have gotten it back on track.
Well, and it's crazy. Like I said, I'll repeat myself, is, you know, just when you think this Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team is over and done, oh, there's another rider coming through, right? But an incredible ride, because you know that Jet Lawrence probably gave it his all to make a little push to try to catch up to Levi Kitchen, and Levi responded.
Yeah, there's always a pecking order. You got to figure Jet's like, okay, this guy's never led before. Maybe I can crack him.
That's right.
Did not happen. And I love this rags to riches story. He's 21 years old. It's pretty old for a rookie. But he was kind of an unknown. And once he finally got on the bigger motorcycles 3 years ago at the Amateur National at Loretta Lynn's ranch, all of a sudden he just went to another level in the B class. And it doesn't take much for Bobby Regan, the owner of this team, to eye up some talent. They had a contract ready.
He's one of the best recruiters that the business has ever saw. That is for sure. I believe that's why one of the reasons he has so many good riders on this team is because he is a great recruiter.
They don't want to let this one get away, and now he has blossomed. So Levi Kitchen, that's right, past the mechanics area. He knows he has this.
Well, this guy has a lot, like we talked, this guy has a lot of bike skill. He's able to do a lot of good things, cool things, little nuances on the machine. And I feel like this track really caters a lot like to Ken Roxon, caters to that type of style of riding.
So here it is, one turn away from making a little bit of history here in Colorado. Levi Kitchen is on the board. He's a moto winner in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Jet Lawrence going to add a little bit more to that early season points lead with a consistent run in second. And he beat the riders that he needs to worry about in the series, at least for now.
That's right.
Let's Kitchen catch his fire because Justin Cooper is going to come across here in third. And looks like Hunter Lawrence closing in on the fourth place position.
So they're looking at the timing and scoring. You got the whole Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing squad in the top 10.
Five bikes.
Five bikes inside the top 10. This is Hunter Lawrence. This one's going to be tough.
Yeah, he's not here to finish off that podium. Yep,
that
absolutely.
was a tough loss.
Hey, you said there's something about the Yamahas here at Elevation. They win the moto, they whole shot, they put 5 bikes in the top 10, so the streak goes on and on.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
We're back here halfway through our race day at Thunder Valley. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, 2 motos down, including 250 Moto 1, which just completed. An upset winner, first-time winner. We'll show you how it happened with our Lucas Oil race recap. And we knew the Yamahas would be fast, especially in the uphill start here. So that was no surprise. The surprise was who was on it. Levi Kitchen, who's gotten terrible starts this year, has a whole shot.
Boom. Lets the bike roll through the center of the corner. And what you're seeing right now is going to be the way it plays out for Levi Kitchen. Just an absolutely incredible win for his first one ever as a professional.
Second place right there in the corner of the screen. That's a big move by Jet Lawrence around Justin Cooper.
And you just have to think that Jet was certainly going to go for it early. Shep was still close.
Yeah, made a run for it as Cooper tries to get Jet Lawrence back. And then once Jet had that position locked down, he made a run, he closed up a little bit, and Kitchen simply started pulling back away. Now, our fast qualifier today was Michael Mosiman, but he went down in the first turn. He came all the way back into the top 10, and then late in the race, he lost positions. I presume a crash. He ended up 13th. As for Chef Levi, no problem at all. He wins his first ever moto, and he does it with a 9-second gap. But, man, he was feeling it at the end. Look at this. The heat, humidity, and the altitude, I'm sure, getting to him. He's recovered enough to go down to the podium, and we'll get to meet Levi Kitchen, who's got the first moto win. Will?
Thank you, Jason, and welcome to the top of the podium for the Moto here in Levi Kitchen. Congratulations to you. You guys obviously dream of the first Moto win here. I'm sure you didn't imagine for a second that it was going to happen like that. So you get the whole shot. Talk me through the rest of it and what went through your mind there till you got to the checkers.
Oh, man, this would have been, honestly, I was tempted to not even race today. Like, I was really feeling under the weather, and qualifying, I didn't feel the greatest, but, you know, I knew that there was something with this track that I would enjoy, and just it's super technical, and I knew I just had to get a start and go as long as I could and just hope I could hang on, and yeah, I got the whole shot, and I was like, you know what, I'm leaving it all out here. Like, I know I can do it, so yeah, it's a dream come true. This is unreal.
Now, Ricky Carmichael, during the race there, was talking about what an important learning experience that was for you to be out there in front. Do you think you can now use that here moving forward? Can this be matched?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, I always knew I had their speed, but I was never up there with them at the start to do it. So, yeah, once I got a start like that and I seen them behind me, I was like, you know, it's just like another day of practice at that point. You're just out there hitting your marks, and, yeah, there's nothing in the way. So it was awesome.
Congratulations to you. Just a fantastic ride, Levi. Enjoy the win.
Well, he's trying to enjoy it, but you can see he's also sick as well, so mixed emotions for the 59. And we'll show you the results there. As we mentioned, Lawrence Cooper. Lawrence, 2-3-4 Hammaker, career best for him, 5th in the Moto. Matt LeBlanc and Nick Romano, the rookies for Star Racing, end up in 9th and 10th. Mosman, as we mentioned, the late crash, 13th. It's a bummer for him. And we'll bring you the entire field here. Preston Kilroy working his way back in action on Suzuki after some injuries in Supercross. And here's the full 40-rider field from Thunder Valley. And what's interesting about that is Max Volan, I believe, had a bike problem in that one. He was top 5 at our last race, going to take a last in this one. All right, so we got more from the podium. Let's hear Jet Lawrence's story from 2nd place. Send it back to Will.
Thank you, Jason. And yes, congratulations, Jet, on that second. We know you've been recovering from the sickness and you're not 100% back there. You saw what Levi was doing. You challenged him, but at some point there, did it go through your mind, this perhaps isn't worth it here and you need to conserve a bit of energy?
Yeah, once I got in the second, I tried to see if I could break him a little bit for like, I think 4 or so laps, and he wasn't breaking. He kind of like picked it up a little bit more. I'm like, damn it. So I was like, and then I started to get a bit of a stitch. So I'm like, you know what? You're riding really good right now, so this is your race. So I'm just gonna try and hold on the second and try and start the recovery a little bit earlier for the second motor. So yeah, we'll see how we go for the second one. Hopefully we can get another good start like that and just go from there.
Well managed, Jet. Thanks so much.
And we'll show you how you can watch Jet Lawrence try to get that overall win today, and that would be later on MAV TV. We'll have 450 Moto 2 coming up at the top of the next hour, and 250 Moto 2 a little more than an hour away. And don't forget Inside Pro Motocross, Tuesdays at 6:30 on MAV. Let's go back to the podium.
And rounding out that podium, thank you, Jason. Congratulations, Justin. Obviously, we saw what happened at round 1, and things really turned around for you last weekend in Hangtown. So getting another Moto win, podium, here in this first one. Important to do that? Important to get the consistency going now?
Yeah, of course. We had a rough opening round, and we're just kind of digging ourselves out of a hole now. So, yeah, we're just trying to gain some confidence. It's been a long time off the gate, and, yeah, we're excited to be here. I love this race, and I love the crowd. So we're going to, go rest up for the second Moto, and, yeah, we'll figure out some lines for the second one and see if we can go for this win.
Thanks so much. We'll see you then.
Podiums are what Justin Cooper does. 27 career overall podiums in 50 starts. So that's more than 50% of the time he's on the box. And he's in position to do that again today. So we are only halfway through. We've had some great racing so far. Some surprises with Kitchen getting that Moto win. A stat for you. 0 laps led in his first 16 career Motos. He just led all 15 in his 17th career Moto. And we'll see if he can do it again a little bit later on today. Hope you enjoyed the first half of the day coverage on NBC and on MAV TV. We'll be back to see who wins the overalls here. The Toyota Thunder Valley National. Ricky Carmichael, Will Christian, I'm Jason Wygant. Stay with us here on MAV TV. Congrats, Levi Kitchen.